Good evening, and it's great to have you with us as we near the end of another week together here. And as we come on the air tonight, there are major developments in the impeachment trial of the former president. The president's defense team has now made its case, and now senators on both sides at this hour are asking questions about the president, what he knew when he knew it, and whether he knew his vice president was in danger when the president tweeted, then taking aim at Mike Pence and questioning his courage. The former president's legal team calling the impeachment an unconstitutional act of political vengeance, in their words. Another saying the House managers who worked as prosecutors relied on heavily edited videos. They said the Democrats took the former president's words out of context when he said "fight like hell." Then they played their own 11-minute video showing Democrats using the word "fight" too. Democrats immediately saying this is hardly the same thing, saying they were never addressing angry mobs ready to act. The former president's defense team blaming the rioters and the rioting on themselves, pointing to evidence of pre-planning on their part, including pipe bombs planted nearby the night before. The former president's defense arguing that impeaching him for his words violates the First Amendment. And the lawyers argued the impeachment trial is an attempt to cancel the votes of 75 million Trump supporters. His team using just 2.5 hours of the 16 hours allotted to make their case. And you see the images there of the Vice President Mike Pence. Tonight, those questions about the Vice President and the danger he was in. Did the president know it, that his own Vice President had been rushed to safety? Tweeting after Pence was whisked away, questioning whether Pence had the courage, in the president's words, to do what was right. This was another tense day for the Senate. It's not over yet. What to expect in the coming hours, and could we have a result in this trial this weekend? ABC's Rachel Scott leading us off tonight from the Hill.
On day 4, former President Donald Trump's defense team getting their turn, accusing Democrats of using impeachment as an act of political vengeance, calling the charge of insurrection a monstrous lie.
This unprecedented effort is not about Democrats opposing political violence. It is about Democrats trying to disqualify their political opposition.
Warning the senators serving as jurors that convicting a former elected official for their past political speech could set a dangerous precedent. Zeroing in on the former president's use of the word "fight."
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Insisting fight is, quote, ordinary political rhetoric, playing an 11-minute montage of Democrats' own words, including senators in the chamber today.
Our fight. We are in this fight for our lives.
What we have to do right now is fight as hard as we can.
Suddenly, the word "fight" is off limits? Spare us the hypocrisy and false indignation.
Democrats objected to the video, saying this is hardly the same thing, and that their words were never delivered to a mob ready to act.
None of us were saying that to a mob on the day of the presidential vote certification. So I don't think it's apples to apples.
The defense arguing that the House managers selectively edited their evidence, admitting the one time the president used the word peacefully.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
But House managers did address that word in making their case, saying he only used it once, and urged his supporters to fight more than a dozen times in that one speech. Still, his defense argued today, this is not incitement.
No thinking person could seriously believe that the president's January 6th speech on the ellipse was in any way an incitement to violence or insurrection.
Trump's team used just 2.5 hours of their 16 hours allotted to defend the president.
Let us be clear. This trial is about far more than President Trump. It is about silencing and banning the speech the majority does not agree with. It is about canceling 75 million Trump voters and criminalizing political viewpoints.
After the president's team made their case, the next phase of this trial, the senators acting as jurors late today getting to ask their own questions.
Mr. President, I send a question to the desk.
Republicans and Democrats both asking, when did the president know the Capitol had been breached? And what did he do to stop it?
The reason this question keeps coming up is because the answer is nothing.
There were also questions about Vice President Mike Pence, his safety, and whether President Trump ever did anything to protect him. House managers already showing that never-before-seen video of Pence being whisked away to safety, where he and his family were being held to protect them from rioters shouting, "Hang Mike Pence." The managers pointed to a phone call as all this was happening. Shortly after 2 p.m. on that day, President Trump calling Senator Tommy Tuberville. Tuberville told the president that the vice president had just been taken out, that he was being rushed to safety. They say about 20 minutes later, the president tweeted questioning Mike Pence's courage. And Mitt Romney wanted to know more.
I send a question to the desk.
So he asked, did the former president know his vice president had been whisked to safety, even as he tweeted questioning his own vice president? Senator Mitt Romney of Utah asking about this tweet from Trump at 2:24 p.m. Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what needed to be done.
Was he aware that Vice President had been removed from the Senate by the Secret Service for his safety?
House Manager Joaquin Castro answering, saying the president had been told on that call the vice president was in harm's way. And still he tweeted, questioning Pence's courage 20 minutes later.
Senator Tuberville specifically said that he told the president, "Mr. President, they just took the vice president out. I've got to go." The vice president and his family were still in danger at that point. Our commander-in-chief did nothing.
The defense team claims the president did not know about his vice president.
The answer is no. At no point was the president informed the vice president was in any danger, because the House rushed through this impeachment in 7 days with no evidence. There is nothing at all in the record on this point.
Arguing the question is not relevant to this case.
To be clear, this is an article of impeachment for incitement. This is not an article of impeachment for anything else.
And late today, the president's defense team arguing impeaching the president for his words violates the First Amendment. The House managers arguing that is not the case.
The former president is not going to spend 1 hour or 1 minute in jail. This is about protecting our republic and articulating and defining the standards of presidential conduct. And if you want this to be a standard for totally appropriate presidential conduct going forward, be my guest. But we're headed for a very different kind of country at that point.
All right, so let's get right back up to Rachel Scott live on the Hill again this evening for us. Rachel, the former president's defense team using just 2.5 hours, as we pointed out there, of their 16 hours allowed. The House managers also using less than their 16 hours. So this trial's moving very swiftly. I guess bottom line tonight, how soon could we know the outcome of this? And I know you also have news on a moving moment on the floor just moments ago.
David, this trial is moving at a rapid pace. We expect those final arguments to begin tomorrow. Each side will have up to 2 hours to make their case. That tees up a final vote for conviction as early as tomorrow afternoon. And as divisive as this whole process has been, tonight a moment of unity there on the Senate floor. All 100 senators standing to give Officer Eugene Goodman a standing ovation as the Senate passes legislation to award him the Congressional Gold Medal. David?
A rare moment of unity indeed. Rachel Scott leading us off all week long. Rachel, excellent report.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.